We are on the verge of the biggest June in the history of recruiting in college football. We've got Nate Greer on the line from Knoll Game Day to break down Mike Norvell's pursuits over the next month. Of course, there are going to be visitation weekends all over the place, and we'll break those down for you position by position. Nate, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning? As always, thank you for inviting me on and talk about Florida State, talk about recruiting. And, like you said, an action-packed summer now that these kids are able to get out and take those visits again.
Cain Madden, a different situation, of course, already an established star in college football and highly sought after. So he has entered the transfer portal, Marshall offensive lineman, second-team All-American. And how does he what is his situation concerning visiting campus?
So he is visiting the first week of June. Florida State has been hot and heavy on him since he entered the portal. Notre Dame is May 1. He did line up an official visit with Notre Dame. Florida State feels really good here. They felt like they've done a really great job showing what they can have. Immediate playing time, a chance to work with a coach that can continue to develop him and being on the big stage. And you can't really look at Notre Dame and not look at them as a true threat. Notre Dame's probably had the best offensive line in college football the past few years, and that's validated by the NFL draft. I think maybe there was a little bit of a surprise that Notre Dame's come on so quickly, and maybe that's been a little – that just some hesitation on Florida State feel really good where they're at. Coming in and getting that first visit for FSU is big for them. I do expect him to make a decision rather quickly so he can get in and work. But at this time, if that visit goes as it should, FSU should feel really good about landing. Probably will end up being the best or one of the best players that entered the portal for this year. So when you talk about offensive line position and need, and does that them this year, does it result in another W? We don't know, but it's definitely would be a major feather in the cap for Alex Atkins and Coach Norvell to get a guy who, like you said, was a All-American. And
so, Nate, as you well know, for a player at a school the level of Marshall to gain All-America status, especially at offensive line, because if a running back or wide receiver just posts some ridiculous numbers, they may get named to an All-America team, 2,000 yards rushing, 100 catches. But for an offensive lineman to be dominant enough to gain that kind of attention, have you had a chance to scout Cain Madden just to see how he's that good?
Watching his highlights, watching what you see online with him, watching Marshall football games. The thing about him is he's technical. He is where he doesn't take false steps, gets to the second level really easy. But the thing about him is he's mean. He plays with a nasty streak. He's not afraid to put you in the dirt, and he moves well for a guy that is 6'. He's not the biggest guard, but he uses leverage very well. He's got long arms for how tall he is, and he just gets after it. You can tell he's been coached really well. You can tell he's very technical, and his size may hinder him on the next level. But when you look at college and the way that he's able to just finish blocks, and once he gets his hands on you, you're not getting off him. And that's the thing that I like to see from an offensive lineman is a guy who's he's been in college now 5 years, but he's got the technical aspect to it, but his mean streak is what I really like to see, is that he's not gonna finish that play into the whistle. The old school Bowden echo of the whistle. He gets after it. So to be All-American when you look at the offensive lines at the Ohio States, the Bamas, and those kinds of schools. He's outplayed those. And for Notre Dame to push for him, that tells you how good this kid is.